Hello everyone, welcome back to the Wisconsin Greg Show. I'm just headed into Delavan, Wisconsin right now, and I thought I'd show you they got these murals all over the buildings in Delavan. There's 20 of them that I know of. There may be more, but as far as what I found on the internet, I found that there's 20 of them. And they painted these, I think, in 2015, I believe. I can't remember for exactly, but I'll leave a link to a website where you can get all the information on that. But they're pretty cool paintings. They're very, very awesome for as big as they are. It's amazing the artwork that went into these things. They're kind of like big, huge billboards on the side of a building, but it's about the history of Delavan, Wisconsin. They go around to different cities, I guess they do. They're called the wall dogs. And from what I understand is I believe it was in 1993. It'll be in the information that I gave you, the link that I tell you. I believe it was in 1993 is when they started up their group and decided to start this and go around to different cities doing this. So it's pretty interesting. I don't really even realize I didn't realize there was 20 of them in Delavan. You just kind of drive by them, and sometimes you don't, put all of them together because you only see one or two a day or something, depending on where you're going in Delavan. But I figured I'd make a video and put them all together in one video so you can see them. I know there's other videos on the internet, and some of you may have seen these already. But it's always cool to get a different person's perspective of them and different angles and stuff, and see what they look like in different days. And sunny days, cloudy days, they look different on different days. So anyways, I thought I'd make a video about this and kind of educate myself about the history of Delavan too, and see if I can locate where all these are located. Some of them I might not even have seen yet, so we'll see. So I'm going to get started, and I'll be with you as soon as I get to the first one. Okay, I'm at the first one. It's at the Delavan Chamber of Commerce, and this is for the people that came to Delavan and first started the town up. I'll get closer to it so you can read it. 52 East Walworth. Pretty nicely done. We're gonna move on to the next one. Here's the next one. It's at 130 East Walworth Avenue. It's Elmer Gauger Old Barn Studio. He was a talented artist, I guess, in the area. He was known for his commercial artwork and more locally for designing iconic business signs. So there's probably still some signs around here of him that he painted years ago. Hard telling. Or I'm sure somebody's got them in a safe spot. So this is number 2. We'll head on to the next one, number 3. Here's the next one at 111 South 2nd Street. It's right across the street from the other one. It's at the American Legion building, on the side of the American Legion building here. It's a tribute to our to the military, and that's pretty awesome, I think. Very, very awesomely done. I love the eagle, red, white, and blue. It's pretty nice. Awesome. Perfect place for it too, the American Legion. Now we're going to go on to the next one. This is the next one, located at 302 East Walworth Street. It's in showing that the P.T. Barnum Circus was created here. It's the birthplace of it. Later went on to be known as I believe they called it the greatest show on earth. I'll have to double check on that. It was something like that. But anyways, that's a pretty cool sign. Very beautiful. There was just a few people here posing in front of it before I took this video, so it gets lots of attention. Now we'll go on to the next one. This next one is in regards to we have a state school for the deaf here, and it got started years ago, 1852, when a deaf family moved here. They had a deaf child, and then they realized there was others in the area that had deaf children, so they started teaching them together, and they petitioned for a state deaf school here, and they eventually got it. So that's what this one's all about. There's a little sign up here on the side that probably kind of explains that. I'll try to get over here. And all that stuff that I'm telling you, will have all the names and everybody. That you can go to that link and get all more information than I'm giving you. So I'll give you a second to read this. It's pretty interesting. So okay, we'll go on to the next one. I'll see you at the next one. This next one is located on the side of the old movie theater in Delavan. Hasn't been a movie theater in years. It actually was a church after the movie theater. Just recently the church moved out. I think they moved to a new location, and currently I do believe it is sitting empty right now, and it is for sale. But this one represents some the architects, I guess you call them, that around the Delavan in the very early years. They designed a lot of the homes around here, and a lot of them are still standing, and some built some of the businesses around the area. So it's very interesting. There's a little sign over here on the side. I'm going to take a look and see if I can see if that's got anything to do with this. I believe it does. But look at that artwork just up close. It's pretty amazing. And this is huge. It's on the side of a building. Pretty amazing. Pretty interesting how they put these little signs here and tells about who sponsored them and who led the projects and everything, and when it was done, June 24th to the 28th of 2015. It says back then that 18 were painted, so they must have painted a couple after the original 18 were painted, because I'm showing there's 20. Anyways, we'll head on to the next one. I still am pretty amazed at how much detail and stuff is in these for being as huge as they are. They're very well done. This is an interesting one. This one, a guy named Gordon Yaden submitted to have a circus stamp made for Delavan, Wisconsin, and they were granted it, and it was released. I can't remember what year that was. It was a long time ago. And Somers, New York found out about it, or they didn't get their application in soon enough, because they consider themselves like the circus capital of the country or something like that. And so there was a big argument about it, and they disputed it. Delavan ended up winning, but Somers, New York also, I ended up getting to have their stamp also. So it's a little bit of interesting history about that mural right there. And you might want to read over that a little bit, as I might not have everything 100% clear, but that's pretty much the basics of it. So we'll go on to the next one. Here's the next one, which I find kind of interesting. I guess there was a cigar company here in Wisconsin. Got established in 1877 by two brothers. The last name was Van Velzer, and said in their peak production years they made let's see, what does it say, Over 1 million handmade cigars annually. That was when they were at their peak. That's pretty amazing. It says one of their logos was a cigar, a smile, make life worthwhile. So, pretty interesting. I'm going to get up there a little closer and show you some of the detail in these huge paintings. It's pretty amazing. There's another sign over here on the side here. I'll come over here and see if I can get that for you. There's another sign here that tells a little bit about the leaders and who sponsored it and how long it took them to do and stuff. Pretty interesting. So now we're going to head on to the next one. This one was a little bit harder to find. It was behind the Remember When antique store in Delavan, Wisconsin. This is about a Red Devils, which was a semi-pro football team that we used to have, and they actually, I believe it says, they went all the way up to 1982. They accumulated 249 wins and 132 loses and 20 ties during their entire history here in Delavan. I wish I would have went to see one of their games when I was younger. I never did. I never was big into sports, but I do wish I would have now. All I do remember is people saying that they were some pretty tough guys on that team. I kind of know a family of one of them and the father that was on the team, and they were pretty tough, I can tell you. Too bad they didn't keep going. That would have been great. But hopefully, maybe someday, you never know, start up again, have the Red Devils again, who knows. Anyways, on to the next one. This is number 10 and 11 on the map, and this is at on the side of the Delavan Fitness Center in Delavan, Wisconsin. These were to represent the early industry that was in Delavan, Wisconsin. Pretty interesting. Find it very interesting to have a steel and wood windmill company here in town. And then you had the old dairy delivering milk. That's pretty cool. That was before my time. But anyways, we're going to go head on to the next one and be right back with you. This is the next one. It's located behind the Delavan Hotel. I'm finding a lot of information. I never realized that Delavan was such an art town. Here's some information for you to read here. It's kind of interesting. I find interesting. And go down to the next one, which is right behind the 2nd Street Saloon. This was dedicated to the memory of Francisco Vargas, award-winning artist, muralist from Fresno, California. He created the largest painting mural stamp in the United States. Excuse me, it's kind of windy out here. I can't read my notes. From what I understand in the readings here, he was co-project leader of the Rodriguez Brothers Potato Farm mural that was created, which we're going to see next right across the street here. And he, this guy here, was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma and died in September of 2015. And that's why they made this mural of him. So we're going to go across the street and see which the one that he was a project leader of. This was for Rodriguez potato farms. I remember that when I was little. Very interesting. Since 1953. I'm sure many other people around here remember buying potatoes at the Rodriguez farm. Now I do believe, I may be wrong, but I do believe the whole Rodriguez farm is now all in land dedicated. I believe it's owned by the DOT. When they take land out of other areas of the state, they have to replace it with other land, and it was replaced with this land down here. So it's all back to wildlife and nature right now. That is my understanding. So there's a little sign here on the side here. I'll let you look at that. And we're off to the next one. This is the next one. It represents the old Eatin' Time restaurant we used to have in town here, which was an old iconic drive-up restaurant. I remember it when I was a kid very well. It's very cool. This is located on the side of the Noble Insurance Company in downtown Delavan. You zoom back here so you can see the whole building. It's right across from New Horizons and Hernandez Mexican Restaurant. So it took me a little while to find this one. I've seen it before, I just couldn't remember where it was. So now we're going to go on to the next one, which is right across the street at the Jet Car Wash. This is the next one. I guess during the Civil War, Delavan's volunteers would gather by the sturdy bur oak tree that stood across from the train depot as they were mustered in to head off to camp. The tree is over 200 years old. I actually do not know exactly what tree that is. I do know where the old train depot was, which is across the street from here, which is no longer there. I'll go see if I can see any markings or anything where that tree is, but I personally do not know where that tree is, but very interesting. Well, I did find the location. Let me back up here so you can actually see it. Just a moment. It's right next to Vesuvio's Little Italy. And if you're ever in town here, I've ate there. They have excellent pizza. Pizza. I've never had anything else there but pizza. They do serve other stuff, but it's a carry-out place. Very excellent. But that's a pretty cool looking tree. And it's kind of interesting that our people during the Civil War gathered underneath there. I'm gonna walk down the street here and tell you how I found that. I kind of remembered, I play Pokemon Go. I'm an old guy that plays Pokemon Go. And I mentioned it once before, you can learn a lot. They have what you call Pokestops. And you go there and you spin it and collect prizes and stuff. And each Pokestop is usually at a place like that. And if you click on it, it tells you a lot of information. So as I was walking around here, I kind of remembered kind of seeing something like that. So I went down there and checked it out, and sure enough, that was it. So it's kind of worth playing Pokemon Go just to get the historical information around every city. And it is kind of fun too, so just thought I'd add that in here. So anyways, we're on to the next one. Catch you in a little bit. Here's the next one. It's located on the side of the fire department here in Delavan, Wisconsin on Ann Street. And it represents the businesses that helped during the World War II. It would be the Borg, Gibbs, Bradley. And it says that during World War II, those companies completed over 30 contracts with the U.S. government. Because of the number of contracts, Delavan was listed as one of the top 10 prime targets for enemy sabotage. That's pretty scary when I think about it, because my mom used to work for Borg's back then, which I do believe is right behind here. I think this is where she worked, but I'm not sure. I was just a baby back then. But now they are converting it into apartment buildings. But I may be wrong on that, but I think that's where Borg's used to be. They do now have a new location. When my mom worked there, they made, from what I understand, is like timers for bombs and stuff like that. Now, as far as I know, I think they just make clocks. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But that's my understanding of it. Some of you guys might recognize this building. I've been here before. I was here at a benefit for the fire department. Very nice. It's a very, very nice fire department. Not very old. Very beautiful the way they built it. So, anyways, I'm going to head on to the next one and we'll see you in a little bit. Sorry I'm kind of far away and there's a lot of traffic noise here. This one is on the Wildman School at 1001 East Geneva Street. The mural was designed by a DDHS, which is Delavan Darien High School art teacher, and it was painted by children. It's supposed to be about a boy and a girl reading about the Delavan's colorful circus history and the images it inspires. Very, very colorful, I can tell you that. Very nicely done, I have to say. So now we're going to be heading on to the next one. I might end up flipping the next two around according to how they are on the map, but we'll see. I'll be back with you in just a little bit. Okay, this is actually number 20, and then we're going to go back to number 19 because number 19 is inside a building. I wanted to do this one first because it's getting dark out. You might hear my hazard lights going because I'm parked along the side of a road. There's no place really here to really stand, so I'm not going to be here long. This one is representing in the late 1800s when tourism came to the area, and when steamships came here and resorts came around the area. That's what this one is representing. And this one is on the side of the building at Reed's Marine on Highway 50. So we're going to go back on to the next one, which is actually going back to number 19, and that'll be the end of it. So I'll meet you at the next one. Okay, I'm here at Lake Lawn Lodge, and the last one that I'm doing here, which is actually number 19. I did the last one on the list. I just flipped them around just before this one. But anyways, the last one that I'm doing today here is called Band and Ballroom. It represents the 30s and 40s era. I guess a lot of the big names like Glenn Miller, Lawrence Welk, and Louis Armstrong are all among a few of the names that were drawn to Delavan when it was a ballroom mecca. That was in the 30s and 40s. That's something I never really knew about. That was a long, long time ago, though. So it's pretty interesting. I'm learning a lot of history today. So anyways, I'm going to run in there real quick, get a picture of it, and come back out. So I told you about it now, so I'm not going to say anything in there. It's in a called the Great Room. So I don't know if it's going to be noisy in there or not. So anyways, I'm just going to take a picture of it or a video of it, a quick video of it, and then I'll be back out here to end the video. So we'll catch you in a little bit. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video. The last one inside, I didn't know there was one inside of a building. I thought they were all outside. That was a little bit harder to find, but I asked directions in there, and he gave me perfect directions, took me right to it. Very easy to find, and it was very nice walk through there. So I hope you all enjoyed seeing the big murals. The very excellent work. I can't believe how good they look for as big as they are. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. I learned a lot of history. I learned there's a lot of art around this town from years back. I never realized it. Pretty interesting. Lots of interesting history there and stuff. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. And don't be afraid to share it. So we'll catch you on the next Wisconsin Greg video. Have a great one, everyone. Bye now.